Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Adina. I'm an intuitive astrologer. Today's video is going to be about Saturn transiting Pisces. Saturn is going to enter Pisces March 7th and will stay there until February 2026. So this is the end of a 30-year cycle for Saturn. Saturn entered Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac, Pisces being the last sign of the zodiac, in 1998. Saturn entered Aries in 1998. So Saturn has been working through our entire chart ever since. So now Saturn is entering the Pisces area of our chart, ending this 30-year cycle. So that is definitely something exciting and something to note. Saturn has been basically reconstructing our entire chart over the last 30 years. So that's something pretty big to take note of. Now, in the Pisces areas of our chart has actually had a lot of action since 2003. So if you can look at the Pisces area of your chart and what house that is in, we've had Uranus enter Pisces in 2003. We had Chiron go through Pisces. We had Neptune. We had Jupiter. And then now we have Saturn. Last year we had the big Neptune-Jupiter conjunction, if you can remember back to that. So let's just start by looking at what is Pisces. What does Pisces represent? Well, Pisces is creativity, dreams, imagination, illusion, escapism. Pisces is where we go to escape from the real world and reality. It's our dream world. What is Saturn? Saturn is everything opposite of that. Saturn is our rules and restrictions, responsibilities, lessons, and discipline. So it's definitely, I think, going to be challenging trying to integrate these two energies. But if you're aware of it and you know how this energy is going to show up for you personally, then it's definitely going to help in navigating through this energy, knowing what can possibly come up over the next few years. So I think boundaries is definitely something that we are going to want to watch for. I believe that Saturn transiting Pisces can either make boundaries easier or more challenging. Now, of course, this is going to depend on your individual chart and if you have planets and angles in Pisces, which you will definitely want to check that out, because this will add to the experience that you're going to experience over the next few years to know how this is going to show up for you. If you have Saturn in Pisces, you're experiencing your Saturn return, which is a huge milestone. Usually when you experience a Saturn return, it's another level of maturity and less challenge. Saturn energy tends to get easier over time, unless there's other indicators in the chart, of course. But knowing your Pisces placements, what house it is going to be in, if you have any angles, your midheaven AC, IC, or your descendant, you're definitely going to want to know if there's any angles or planets there, because it will let you know how this is going to show up for you on a more personal level. Now, one thing with this energy is that with Saturn transiting Pisces, Saturn is basically asking us, what have we been ignoring and what do we need to let go of? We're going to have to let go of old energy to start a new cycle. This is the last sign of the zodiac. So there's really going to be a clearing of the decks in a sense. Anything that we've been hanging on to or holding on to too tightly, Saturn is going to have us look at that to say, is this still in alignment, or does it have to go? Is it in alignment with where you are going in these next steps of your journey. Saturn will bring things up for you to change. And if you don't, and you hang on to them too tightly and you resist the change, these things tend to get harder and more difficult to move through. So, definitely being aware of this can help with navigating this energy. Now, Another thing I want to note is that Saturn is going to be moving away from this square that we have been dealing with between Saturn and Uranus since the beginning of 2020, which if you look back at the beginning of 2020, there has been a lot going on. I'm sure we can all agree on that. So thank goodness Saturn's moving on, which is definitely going to shift the energy in a big way, hopefully for the better. So that's another thing to take note on, is that we finally get out of this Saturn-Uranus square. Now, Saturn usually doesn't let us get away with cutting corners. So we are either going to have to be all in with this energy or all out, where if things are coming up. So for example, if you look in your chart and you see what house you have Pisces in, if it is in your 10th house of career and you've been sitting in a job that doesn't make you happy because you have fear of letting go, or you're fearful of taking a chance because you don't know what is going to happen or the outcome, things may come up with work that's going to force you to look at this energy and really decide, like, are you all in or are you all out? Are you ready to take that chance? And sometimes if it's not meant to stay with you on your journey, you will be forced to let it go. Saturn doesn't really give any leeway. It's either you're all in or you're all out, and it's going to happen. Sometimes we don't have much choice. Saturn brings things up for us because it may be hard at the time, but can end up being better for us in the long term of our journey and where we're going in this lifetime. So, and one thing that is definitely going to help during this few years is having a spiritual practice. It will absolutely help during this time if you have a connection and being able to connect to the universe, and that way you are able to receive. So you can receive your guidance and be able to follow your intuition. So, having that connection and starting to know or figure out how you connect personally, because we all have our own connection and we all deal with these things differently, and being able to become familiar with that and knowing how you connect and what works for you and how you receive your intuitive downloads so that you can get your guidance to move through this energy. That's definitely going to help over this time. And plus, Pisces is a super spiritual sign. And so with Saturn here, this is like the perfect energy for starting a disciplined spiritual practice. I almost wonder too if a lot of us are going to be thrown into it, if it'll be like those of us who haven't kind of dabbled in the spirituality will have to either with Saturn, because it's like disciplined and becoming responsible, almost like not having anywhere else to go but looking within, like, if you understand what I'm saying. Mercury's retrograde while I'm recording this, so I do apologize if I'm just kind of coming off confusing, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Developing a solid, disciplined spiritual practice is definitely going to help during these next few years. So definitely be aware of that, and start getting into that. Now, Saturn for 2023 is going to be moving from 0 degrees to 7 degrees, and then we'll go retrograde. So in 2023, he'll only be moving to 7 degrees. So you want to know if you have any planets, angles, planets or angles from 0 to 7 degrees, because like I said before, that will show you how how it's going to affect you. So for example, if you have your sun or your moon placement at between 0 or 7 degrees of Pisces, this is going to affect you more personally, more directly, And, definitely more so someone that doesn't have any planets or points. Not that it wouldn't affect them, but those are your personal planets, and your sun is your soul's expression, and your moon sign is your internal self. So that's definitely, and the moon can also represent your body. So it's definitely something you want to take note of. And be aware of that. Also, like I said before, knowing which house you have Pisces in is going to help, because it'll allow you to know where in life this will affect you. So if you have Pisces in the 10th house, that's your working career, the working career. If you have Pisces in the 7th house, and that's your personal relationships, or Pisces in the 1st house, which represents you, your physical body, your character, your personality, that's you as a whole. So you definitely want to know that. And what else did I want to, I'm just reading my notes. I took notes because I didn't want to forget anything. So yes, there's a few things that we're definitely going to want to look at, and we're going to want to ask ourselves during this time. What are we done with in the Pisces area? What are we ready to let go of? What have we been, like I said before, hanging on too close? Because Saturn is going to come in there and really shake it up. So if there's something within those Pisces areas of our life that we've been hanging on to too close, that we subconsciously and kind of know is over or done, or we're no longer in alignment with, Saturn is going to come in there and it's really going to be shaken up. So Saturn is going to force us to look at our energy and see what needs to change, what's no longer in alignment with us, and what we're going to have to cut out to move forward in this new 30-year cycle come 2026, when he moves into Aries. So that's definitely something to make note of. And what have we been neglecting? What responsibilities have we been neglecting in those Pisces areas? Because Saturn is all about responsibilities and rules and discipline. So have there been things in the Pisces areas that we have been neglecting or trying to escape from? Because Saturn is going to come in there and we're going to have to face it head on. There's going to be no more escaping, no more neglecting our responsibilities. Saturn is going to come in and we're going to have to face it head on. And that's that. There's no cutting corners with Saturn. And if you do try to cut corners with Saturn, it tends to be more challenging and difficult later on down the road. So also too, with Saturn and Pisces, you may, because Pisces is our spirituality, right? Like that's our spiritual self. And Saturn might make you start to become more selective with your energy. So you may find that during this time, you are becoming selective with your energy, and you're not spending your time with people that you don't feel is in alignment with you, and you're starting to cut certain people out of your life that are no longer in alignment, or even experiences where if someone, a job, a person, even like anything, if it's not in alignment with who you are, we're going to start cutting that out of our life. We're going to start looking at it and becoming very selective with how we spend our energy and what we decide to have around us. And Saturn is going to have us really become more responsible with our energy, right? Like Saturn is responsibility. And I definitely think that during this time, the main focuses are going to be boundaries. Pisces is like boundaryless, and Saturn is all about boundaries. And I feel like I definitely feel like being aware of this energy will help like 100%. But for people that are not aware, I think boundaries can either be dissolved, where the Saturn energy gets diminished a little bit and Pisces takes over, or the other way around. I feel like it's like one or the other. If you're aware of it, you can integrate the energy a lot lot better and work with it a lot better. But I wonder if people may struggle that are not aware of it and don't know, kind of what's going on, because we have like we have like the super place in our chart in our life that has like no boundaries and struggles with boundaries, and then we have like Saturn, which is all about boundaries, and it's like complete opposites. So I think we have to be aware of this energy so that we're able to integrate it properly and accordingly to make it easier for us to navigate through over the next few years. And I think that over the next few years, those are going to be, a lot of the major topics and themes is boundaries, escapism, making sure that we're taking responsibility, that we're not escaping from those certain areas of our life. I think that Saturn is going to come in and make us, take a look at that stuff in our life and those areas of our life, and make sure that we are being responsible, that we are taking, responsibility and being accountable. So I do think that that's definitely going to be huge through this transit. And I'm probably going to make another video for the Saturn in Pisces, because Saturn is in Pisces through, from now to 2026, which is 3 years. So I'm definitely going to make another video talking more about this energy. But I just wanted to touch on briefly what this energy how it can show up and how it can show up for us individually. And that, some things to really take note is you're going to want to know where Pisces is in your chart, if you have any planets, if you have any angles, and what houses and all of that stuff, so that you can really prepare to integrate this energy and work with it more effectively. Because I think that's definitely going to be a must during this time. So I really hope that you found this helpful, and comment below and let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.